Hey there, everyone. Joshua Short with you. We've got Lauren Moss standing by as well. Hello to you, Lauren. How you doing?
Hey, Josh. I'm good. How are you? You know, it's definitely a Monday, and I think people are definitely feeling all sorts of vibes on this Monday.
Listen, I can start with you. You're feeling excited right now. You got a big day coming up this week.
I am. It's wedding week.
It is wedding week for you.
Yes.
Should I continue to call you Miss Moss?
You can.
Okay.
You can. I'll always be Moss.
Okay.
Come on.
Good. So we got that. But we've actually got some news in the sports world that isn't so good, especially if you're a Notre Dame fan. And that's what this podcast is devoted to today for something extra. And this is something really extra because it is the talk of the sports world right now. It has to do with Notre Dame, obviously the college football playoff committee, leaving them out, first team out. They are not in the college football playoff after making the finals last year, after getting to the championship game last year.
Listen, everyone, even like non-football fans are joining this conversation. Some are calling it a snub. Many are calling it a snub. But also add in, Josh, that now Notre Dame has opted out. They don't even want to play a bowl game anymore.
And that's the big thing about it, too. We're going to talk about all of this. That's a big development from yesterday. I saw you share that on Facebook. Were you shocked when you saw that announcement from Notre Dame deciding not to be in a bowl game?
I was a little shocked, but I also thought, they're sending a message. They're mad. So I kind of applauded them for standing on business a little bit. But listen, I understand both sides where people also want to see them play.
Yeah. I
One
do too.
last time, right?
And I think there are a lot of questions about the seniors on the team. Did they want to play? Were they a part of the conversation? Was it just captains? All these things that we don't have the answers to. But you know what?
Yet.
But I've got a guy, and you know a guy who's got at least some of the answers and can offer some perspective on what has been a wild 24, 36 hours here in South Bend, Indiana. Who we got, Lauren Moss?
We got Mike Golic, Sr. joining us now. Mike, thank you so much for joining us today to talk all about this.
I am honored to talk about it, but more honored to talk to you, Lauren, about it. I didn't know it was wedding week.
It's wedding week, Mike.
So the question every guy would ask the future bride is, did your fiance have any say in anything, or is he just showing up?
You want to know what? Eric is like weirdly more organized than I am. So he actually had a ton of say. We got a lot planned last year, so we've been chilling out the last few months, honestly. I think which has helped our nerves and, excitement a little bit. We're like easing into this weekend.
Wow, that's impressive that he was a decision maker, because I was not a decision maker in my wedding, and I was not a decision maker in any of my kids' weddings. I just kind of showed up, opened the checkbook.
Exactly. Just show up, tell me where I need to be, and I'll be there.
And listen, it's going to be a fun time, and I'm going to be there. Lord, I can't wait to witness it. And it's just going to be a great weekend. The opposite of this past weekend.
Right.
If you're an Irish fan, I mean, Mike, walk us through the last 24, 36 hours for you and the family and your reaction initially to this snub that a lot of people are calling this right now.
Well, this really started a couple of weeks ago when Alabama just snuck by Auburn and moved ahead of Notre Dame. You could kind of feel the setup that was going on, that Miami was still 2 spots away at number 12 and Notre Dame was 10. At that point, I don't know why they couldn't have gone head-to-head. See, I'm fine with Miami being ahead of us, quite honestly.
Right.
As a former player, I like to settle things on the field. And while it was the first game of the season, it was still a game they played. Their resumes are pretty equal, and Miami beat Notre Dame on the field. So that really didn't bother me. What bothered me is they waited till the last ranking. Yeah. I mean, to think because one was 10 and one was 12, that wasn't close enough to give them head-to-head and put Miami ahead of them was somewhat ridiculous. To wait until they were right next to one another and then say, we can put the head-to-head into play. To me, that made no sense. And really, when they jumped Alabama in front of us after Alabama needed all they could do to beat, I know it was a rivalry week, but a losing record Auburn team. Hell, we played USC, our rival, and we beat them by double digits.
Right.
They struggled against Auburn, and they moved up. But that was all. I thought, oh no, they moved us up. That means if possibly they lose the SEC title game, they'll only drop them from 9 to 10, and they'll still be in because we know 11 and 12 won't be there. If you're 11 and 12, you're not going to be in because of the ACC and the G5s. So, but when I saw Alabama get rolled, I thought, okay, Notre Dame and Miami could quite possibly be in, even though Alabama's resume and the stats are better than Notre Dame's and Miami. They had 3 losses and they got smoked in a conference championship game. Over the last few years, every conference championship game loser, only 2 didn't drop. And that was in 22, I believe it was TCU, and this year Alabama. And Alabama got beat by 21 points. I was stunned they didn't drop.
So I got to ask this question. There's this argument right now. There's this debate that is growing about this being a message, so to speak, a message from the committee saying, Notre Dame, you need to join a conference.
Right.
What say you on that? Where do you stand on that?
Well, I mean, again, everyone talks about rules being made for Notre Dame. Notre Dame didn't make the rules. No, somebody has to agree to these rules. Like next year, if Notre Dame is in the top 12 and it's a 12-team playoff, they're automatically in. Well, Notre Dame didn't hold a gun to anybody's head and say, put us in if we're 12 or higher. Some adult on the other side of the table had to agree to this. So Notre Dame isn't making up their own rules to help themselves. So and as far as joining a conference, listen, we know how this works. We know the landscape of college sports has changed. And if it comes to a point where it's difficult for Notre Dame to get in because they're not affiliated with a conference, they'll join a conference. But like Pete Bavacqua has said, when it's said to him, hey, you get to keep all the money. And he answered, well, when we don't make it, we don't get any money. Yeah. We don't split with any conference. He said, we eat what we kill. And he's right. So the only way they'll move to a conference is if rules are made where it gets difficult to make it into a 12-team or eventually a 16-team conference.
Okay, interesting.
Or playoff.
Yeah. So what is your reaction then to Notre Dame opting out of a bowl game? Because I've seen a lot of passionate people on both sides saying, quitters, this isn't like what we hear from head coach Marcus Freeman. He's always saying, go after it, go get it. Do you see where they're coming from with opting out, or what's your reaction?
So I'm kind of split on this one. Again, as a former player, there's, you look at a bowl game with blinders on and you say 15 extra practices. You say young guys get a chance to play. Players that you're redshirting can play in this game without any penalty. And what on senior day, there were 20, 30-some seniors that came running out onto the field. A couple are going to go on and play in the NFL. Yeah. The rest are done playing football for the rest of their lives. So there's the thought of giving them one more game in a Notre Dame uniform and thinking, you were going to have more, but be in the playoffs and then not. And then your career is done. But then I also see, listen, everybody's ripping Notre Dame for not going. There's plenty of teams that have opted out of the bowl. Now, correct. Some have lost their head coach and it was going to be too difficult. But as Notre Dame players had told Marcus, listen, we're going to have opt-outs. We're going to have guys that are injured. We're not going to put on the field the team that we're normally used to seeing on the field. So they decided not to play. I could have flipped either way on that. I'm kind of split down the middle on that one.
Okay. Do you think that there needs to be a change in the schematics of what it takes to make this 12-team playoff? Do you think that this should be expanded again? Do you think it should go to 16 teams or greater?
Oh.
It will. It doesn't matter what we think. It will go to 16. It's definitely going to. And Notre Dame has a buffer clause in there that says if they're ranked X amount in X amount of spot or better, they're in. So
that is correct.
And again, people that rip Notre Dame for that, I say again, Notre Dame didn't sign themselves up for that. That had to be agreed to. Yep. And if Notre Dame had leverage to swing a leverage hammer and get that, who wouldn't? You guys, Josh or Lauren, in your contract negotiations, right. If you have a leverage hammer to swing, you're going to swing it.
There you go.
To try and get a deal that favors you. And if Notre Dame was able to do that, good for them. But again, the other side of the table, the adults on the other side of the table could have said no, but they didn't. They agreed to it. So, the G5, the group of five. You know, you have Tulane and James Madison in there. That's a tough spot for me because it's still group of five and Power Four are together. So you want to try and give them a chance. But let's be honest. James Madison and Tulane
have
don't
no
have
chance.
A shot.
They don't have a chance.
Zero chance in this. So, but until we get to the point where the Power Four has split away from the group of five, I think they're going to get an automatic bid. What I think it should be is when it goes to 16 teams, the top 16 teams make it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
The top
let them
16
play.
Teams.
Let me. I got to ask you.
Let them go.
Let them play.
This is the biggest elephant in the room. Who's on this committee? I know that the chair of this committee is the AD at Arkansas. That's weird. So, can you explain who's on this committee? How many people?
How does this committee form? How do they come
are you
about?
on the committee? Should we be talking about you being on?
Quite honestly, I have said publicly, someday I have to be out of the media.
Got it.
I can't be in the media now, but I would love to be on this committee. It has ADs in it. It has, prominent people in it as well. I don't really know the entire makeup of it. Mm-hmm. But the tough part is, gang, is they move the goalposts every year, right? Mm-hmm. There's a list of criteria, but what criteria is important to them that year when the committee switches? And quite honestly, the weekly show, which is a moneymaker for ESPN and a very popular show, quite honestly, they should do away with it.
Because that sends the wrong message, does it not?
Yes. It puts the committee in a box of, we put ourselves in a box 4 weeks ago. What do we do now? They should do it like the basketball. Basketball has one selection at the end of the year, right? One selection, 68 teams, and then you go.
Right.
There should be one selection for this. Forget the weekly show, but they do the weekly show for money and for ratings, and we know that drives everything. That money still is the driver of everything. Someone's going to get mad every year. 2 years ago, it was Florida State who got screwed out of being in it, right? Because their quarterback got hurt.
And they were undefeated.
And the committee didn't think they could compete because they didn't have a quarterback, but they had a nationally ranked great defense, and they didn't get a chance. So that's the trouble I have is you have human beings deciding this, and they move the goalposts every year on what the criteria is or what's important to them.
Yeah.
They should consider AI, Lauren Moss.
Yeah, at this point, I think it'd be a better decision if it is AI, right? So, listen, Pete Bavacqua, Notre Dame athletic director, talked to your buddy. He was on the Dan Patrick show this morning saying, listen, this has caused permanent damage to the relationship with the ACC.
So, listen, here's what I'll say. As athletic director, his loyalty is to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The ACC, their loyalty is to Miami over Notre Dame, right? Because Miami is a full-fledged member of the ACC, including football. Notre Dame is not. Notre Dame is independent in football, and all the other sports, or just about all the other sports, are in the conference. So Jim Phillips, who's the commissioner of the ACC and used to be at Notre Dame, his loyalty is to the conference. I understand that. So his loyalty would be to the full-time member, which is Miami. I do understand that.
Yeah.
This conversation can go on for days. You've got other shows.
He has his own show coming up.
You got to.
By the way, we have to plug it real quick. If people want to hear more from you, this is what you do. Where can people hear you, Mike?
Yeah, FanDuel Sports Network. My son Mike and I, it's called Golic and Golic. It's on 3:30 afternoon, 3:30 Eastern in the afternoon, 3:30 to 5:30. It's on a variety of ways. I'm this old man. I don't know all the ways it's available. It's available a lot of
everywhere
ways, and I don't know all the ways. But it's 3:30 to 5:30. Then they re-air it at night as well. And we have 100 Yurchek, the commissioner, on today, as a matter of fact.
Oh, that's huge.
Mike.
Yeah, we'll ask him all the questions that he's already answered a million times, and I don't think his answer is going to change much.
Well, look, we'll let you go, buddy. Mike, as always, Mike Golic, we appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, Mike.
Offering that perspective, man. And even though on a day like today and a week like today, this is going to sting for a little bit, but like that letter said, let's go 2026. Here we go, Irish.
Yeah.
And you know what? we have Lauren's wedding to look forward to. With a smile on
You
our
know
face.
what? We can't be in a bad mood today because it's
No.
wedding week.
We can't be
For
right.
me, okay?
Absolutely.
Mike Golic,
Good
we
luck with that,
appreciate you.
Lauren.
We really
Thank
appreciate
you
you, buddy.
so much. We love you. Thanks,
You got
Mike.
it.
I mean, that is when
Take
you
care.
hear
Thank you.
hear somebody. First off, he's just great. Mike Golic is just great
Oh,
and gives
yeah.
proper context to everything. But this is one of those things. It's hard to put into words. It's
know.
hard to put into context what just happened in the last 24, 30 hours ago.
That's so true, Josh. I mean, there are emotions on both sides, right? Like I've seen plenty of comments. We've been sharing it on Facebook. People are saying, "Oh, crybabies, typical Notre Dame, got to go complain somewhere." But you can understand why Notre Dame feels snubbed.
Well,
They
we won the
certainly
head-to-head.
were.
We won the head-to-head.
It's like, oh, come
like-
on. I'm tired of having to defend them. And I'm glad you asked Golic the question of the conference, right? Are we being punished because we're not in a conference?
And look,
that's what everyone is wondering.
That's
right?
going to be a conversation that will continue
That's true.
for days, if not weeks or longer. And
True.
that is one of the reasons why we want to devote this podcast to the topic all of you are talking about here on Something Extra, and that is the snubbing, some are calling it,
You
from the
can call
college
it-
football.
You can call it that. Let's be real.
From the playoff committee of 10-2 team that had one of the 4 best chances of winning the entire dang thing.
I
And
know.
it's a big deal to a lot of fans, a lot of Irish fans
It
and more.
is. And you heard Mike mention you feel bad for the seniors who don't get to put on that Irish jersey anymore.
Yeah. There are a lot of faces that we're going to miss on that team, I tell you that.
I
But you know
know.
what? We'll see what happens
But-
next year.
Okay, you asked me what I thought about Notre Dame opting out. Like I said, I kind of loved it. I thought they were standing on business. What do you think?
You know what? I think it was necessary.
Okay.
But also, I'm torn as well when you talk about the players that are involved and these seniors who want to be a part of it.
I know.
And I think that's the biggest thing when you look at it from their perspective. Is this what they wanted? And it sounded as if this is something that the entire team and the athletic directors, the athletic team as well, and coaches all agreed on, is that they felt it not this year. They felt that they didn't want to be a part of it this year, but in the words of Lauren Moss, they're standing on business too. They said, why are we going to, help you make money at this point in this stage for the Pop-Tart Bowl?
Listen,
like,
they're standing on 10 toes.
yeah,
I'll
I
tell you
don't
that.
blame them. I don't blame them. They're standing on 10 toes and a pair of
Not
cleats.
5, 10 toes.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it sends a message, right? They're mad, and you can understand why.
I think we are, and here's the thing, as journalists, we've got to be objective and objectively
True.
say we think they messed up.
Yeah.
But I think objectively, you also look at the records and the resumes, and obviously, I
true.
think at the end of the day, there needs to be a conversation about what metric is being used to put folks in the playoff, and also whether or not this thing needs to be expanded. Because when you got a team like
Exactly.
Notre Dame that's got promise, and then you got James Madison or another school that, in our opinions, and this is subjective, they won't win this thing at all. Now you
Right.
got to have a real conversation.
And I mean, I even think from the fan perspective and like viewership, you have Notre Dame fans quite literally all over the country. We're talking international numbers. So it's like in viewership terms, that's a lose-lose, right? You think for the network.
I heard someone said they're making a particular shirt, and I'm not going to say what it says, but it's not what you think it is, and I'm not going to get controversial with that one. But people are taking their anger out in tactile ways in South Bend. So for those watching this who are not in South Bend, Eddy Street was quiet, but you got a lot of people who are affiliated in one way or another
True.
with either the program or know some of the players, who are actually saying, you know what, let's do something about this. We need to figure this out. We need to make sure that these players are taken care of and making sure that
It's fun.
And
This
so
is-
people are doing different things, and it's interesting to see that, because obviously as an Irish fan, they're going to do something. It's not going to be all talk.
When
right?
that's your team, you got to back it up, and you can have some fun with it. But right now, I think, a lot of people are feeling mad, shocked,
and they feel like they want to do
disappointed,
something,
a little
but
bit of everything.
But it's very little you can do in this situation. There's nothing you can do in this situation.
But
And
hopefully change, like you asked Golic, hopefully change will come, right?
that's the hope.
Out of this.
Because this is
A
not
lot
the
of people
first
talk
time.
about it.
This is not the first time something like this happened.
No, and we're not the first team, so we're not saying that. Don't come at us saying typical Notre Dame
Yeah,
fans,
here we go.
you know.
Oh,
Wah,
journalists
wah.
aren't being objective. Listen, as objective as we can be in this type of podcast, we want to say thank you for listening, because we appreciate you guys watching and listening to this all the time, obviously on Something Extra, but especially today because we know this is a big talker. Thousands of people are commenting and talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
this.
Oh,
So we
yeah.
know it's a big deal, and we wanted to talk about it.
And
so
how great that we were able to get Mike Golic's perspective.
and how great it is. Lauren Moss is about to be hitched in a couple days. Congratulations to you,
My
Lomo.
last few days as single lady.
As a single lady.
Can you believe it?
What are the odds on that one in Vegas happening Saturday?
100%.
100%. 100%. We appreciate you guys listening to us here for Something Extra. For Lauren Moss and for Joshua Short, we say goodbye for now. We'll see you soon.